Hi, and thank you for coming to my education presentation today on nursing shortage. We will get started. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the nursing shortage means and how that relates to us on the cardiac telemetry unit, okay? So, according to the American Nurses Association, there will be more registered nurse jobs available through 2022 than any other profession in the United States. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects 1.1 million additional nurses are needed to avoid a further shortage. Employment opportunities for nurses are projected to grow at a faster rate than all other occupations from 2016 through 2026. So our learning objectives for today, after you receive this education that I'm presenting to you, you'll be able to identify two issues that the nursing shortage is causing. You'll be able to provide reasons there is a need for more nurses on the unit, and you'll be able to support the value of hiring more nurses on the telemetry unit. So first I'm going to give you a pretest, and it's just to see where your knowledge is at regarding the nursing shortage. And then after I present this information, you'll be given the same questions. So be thinking about these questions as I give you the information. And if you need to write it down, that's okay too. Or if you just kind of want to see how much you retain, that's all right as well. So the first question is, name two issues the nursing shortage is causing. Explain why there is a need for additional nurses on the telemetry unit. How will being fully staffed help staff members? So that's nurses, anybody that's working on the unit, and patients as well. And how many additional nurses will be needed until the unit is fully staffed? We'll go over all this information in the next couple of slides. And I wanted to show a graphic here that I got from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's showing that there could be a potential lack of 808,000 nurses by 2020, so that's next year actually. So what we're seeing is that the supply has kind of gone down and the demand has gone significantly up. So what about the numbers on the cardiac telemetry unit? So currently we need 8 daytime shift nurses and 8 nighttime shift nurses. And those numbers may not seem terribly significant, but when you think about just the one unit on this in this hospital, and then you start to branch out and think about all the units at the hospital and what their shortages are, and then you start to branch out to other hospitals in Overland Park, and then branch out and out and out, and then you can kind of start to understand how just that 14 number, the number of 14, contributes to that 808,000, that projection. I really liked this graphic, and this is a pamphlet that I'll be handing out to you guys at the end, so that you guys just kind of have that visual and reasons that the nurse to patient ratios matter. There are currently two proposed bills that are still active. They were proposed in 2018. They have not been passed yet, but hopefully they will be. And the bills are helping to establish federally mandated requirements for nurse to patient staffing ratios. And here's why that's important. Number one, better patient care. The more individual attention a patient receives, the better quality of care. And number two, less burnout. Having a manageable number of patients means nurses have time to take care of themselves too, and that's very important for the health promotion model. That ties into the self-care and being able to help others if you're able to help yourself. Number three, quicker responses. Not being overwhelmed lets a nurse be more available when a critical emergency hits. That lowers response times and it can save lives. Number four, it's better for everyone. Better patient care and happier nurses means cost savings for hospitals in the form of shorter patient stays, lower staff turnover, and less adverse events. So what are some issues caused by the nursing shortages? Well, staffing ratios. With the nursing shortage, the staff to ratio increases. And what I'm meaning here is the patient to nurse ratio is higher. So you might have 6 or 7 patients or even potentially more per each nurse. And that causes burnout and turnover. Medication errors are also caused by nursing shortages. Higher morbidity and mortality rates. And according to research, the evidence indicates that inadequate nurse staffing leads to adverse patient outcomes and increased nurse burnout. Hospital administrators should invest in adequate nurse staffing to improve patient safety and increase nurse retention. And the two things that I really want you to remember is that last piece there, improve patient safety and increase nurse retention, because those are the most important things when it comes to this topic. Again, why improve nurse to patient ratio? Why is this important? Well, California has the best nursing staffed hospitals in the country, because they are one of few states that have passed a law, and the state has seen steeper declines in mortality improvements and other indicators than other states. And I got that information from National Nurses United. And then on the right here, I just have a cartoon that I thought was kind of applicable and thought you guys would enjoy, and it's just showing how the nurse to patient ratio applied to the bed patient ratio. So putting all your patients into one bed. I guess it would make it more convenient, right? So here's the post test. Again, these are the same questions that I gave to you a little while ago. It's information I just presented to you. So name 2 issues the nursing shortage is causing. Explain why there is a need for additional nurses on the telemetry unit. How will being fully staffed help staff members and patients? How many additional nurses will be needed on the unit until we are fully staffed? So the next task we have here is to make a pinwheel. And you might be thinking, well, what the heck does this have to do with the nursing shortage? So this activity is designed to kind of get you guys thinking about how difficult it can be when there is not adequate staffing. So the class will now be divided into 4 groups. There's going to be group A, B, C, and D. Each group will be given instructions on how to make a pinwheel and a list of materials needed. Each one of you will be given a copy of the instructions. However, these instructions are not in order. The supplies are spread out throughout the room, and you have 10 minutes to complete this project. So how this is going to work is each one of you will now be handed out instructions to make the pinwheel. You'll have 5 minutes to look over the instructions and to get into your groups. When the timing starts, you have 10 minutes to collect your supplies and make your pinwheels. So the next slides are going to show you the instructions so you kind of have an idea, but what I'm showing you here on the PowerPoint screen is the exact instructions that you're going to be handed out here in a couple of minutes. Again, the instructions are not in order, but the picture, the graphic, does match up with the instruction. So let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? List of materials are here and the instructions. So here you will see the instructions. This graphic here does match up with the instruction. I didn't want to make it too confusing. So this graphic here again will match this instruction, but these aren't necessarily in order, okay? And the next 4 screens are the rest of the instructions. And some of these you'll be able to figure out what order they are in based on the verbiage used, okay? Okay, so at this point I'm going to pause the PowerPoint. The instructions will be handed out. You will have 5 minutes to look over the instructions and get into your groups, and then we will set the timer for 10 minutes. Now that we have gathered together and we are finished with making our pinwheels, here are some questions that I am presenting to you guys. Were you able to successfully make your pinwheel? If not, why? And if so, what made it possible to complete the pinwheel? Do you think having more people made it easier? And how does this relate to staffing ratios? Well, you might be asking that still after we've made you guys get together and make these pinwheels. But the point of this instruction was to see how difficult it can be to have several different tasks going on at the same time and having a short amount of time to complete it with only 2 people versus 10 people, and what that means. And I feel like it's easier to remember how that works when when it's put into action. So that was the point of that activity. So to summarize, better staffing ratio improves patient safety and it decreases burnout. And if you have any questions or you have any suggestions on how I can improve this lesson, please let me know. The next screen will be showing you my references here. So Bureau of Labor Statistics, Garrett, the Effective Nursing Staffing Patterns, and Instructables, where I got my lovely graphics and instructions on how to make a pinwheel. Thanks for listening.